Hi guys. Hi everyone. So God is like, why are you holding your phone? And I was like, oh, I forgot. So I forgot that he had had me buy the the stand so I didn't have to hold my phone anymore and I could have my hand free. Anyway, so as I was saying in the previous video, so um, this happened on Thursday, but wait, the previous Thursday. So this Thursday, it was Cassie who stayed to pre-close, and she said, "I will take care of this side if you do the bathrooms." And I was like, "Okay." And so she did. She took care of that whole side. She cleaned all of the tables. She did more work than I was expecting her to. And so she left, and she was the one that was with me with this man with the $25, $30. I mixed Carla and her up because Carla was the previous Thursday, and then that was her last Thursday before she went on vacation. And then I've been, you know, this past weekend was a little bit of a blur, mostly because by Sunday when I worked in the morning, I knew I was going to come into a very short shift. So there wasn't a lot of money that I received. It was like $40 or $50 between the whole weekend. And God had led me to purchase some things that I needed. Dog food was one of them. And then I bought some wine because I realize now what God has been doing with the wine. And I didn't realize it at first. But now I understand. And I'm not going to go without having at least able to have 2 glasses of wine at night. The pain is too great. It's just too much. I can't. The amount of walking that I'm doing is, I won't sleep. Anyway, so, oh, let me see. Where am I? So Thursday, Cassie was with me. This man gave me $30. The next day, I came in and she comes over and she sits down with me. She goes, "Hey, well, did somebody sit over here yesterday after I left?" I'm like, "No, it was just those kids." And she goes, "Oh, because I found like paper wrappings." And she goes, "They must have been the quarter rolls." I'm like, "I'm so sorry. I didn't even think to come back and look to see if it was dirty or they had made a mess because nobody else was here eating except the kids playing video games." And I said, Cody had to tell them that we couldn't take any more quarters because they wanted $60 in quarters. She's like, "What?" I'm like, "Yeah, $60 in quarters." And she's like, "What the heck?" So we didn't have any quarters until the manager went to the bank and got quarters. And so that was Thursday. On Friday, we had a group of 40 people coming in, but that wasn't until like 7:30 at night. And so then I got a phone call saying, "Hey, do you have room for 30 people?" And I was like, "Yeah, we do." And he goes, "Okay, we're thinking of ordering ahead." And I said, "Okay, we can take care of you there." And I guess the parents had decided that they were going to each order their own individual food instead of ordering one big order. So they came in, but it wasn't 30 people. It wasn't 35 people. It was like 50 people because they took over the entire one section of the room. And they were the most well behaved. They were the sweetest kids I have ever seen in our store. Normally, these kids, they're jumping on the video games, they're trying to break the video games, they're just being obnoxious. And me being the one that has to clean that area will look at the parents and be like, "I'm sorry, your son isn't supposed to I'm sorry, your son isn't allowed to kick the games. Your son isn't allowed to climb up to the top and try to jump off. And these parents are just like looking at their kids like, okay, yeah. And I'm going, I'm sorry, they can't do these things. Can you please get them down? And finally, the dad will be like, hey guys, get down. I'm like, okay, but that doesn't solve the situation that's going on right now. And I leave it alone. I say, Father, let it be your will. You know, if these kids get hurt, I asked them to stop, and the parents haven't helped out in that area. And so these kids came in, and our phone started ringing. And so I was putting the phone on hold, and one of the girls, okay, so let me back up a little bit. So during the day, I was trying to get both of these girls to stay, because it was just going to be me, and it was just going to be this young man, Jake. And he's very new. And his idea of serving is, I'm on the register, and I'm not moving. If he runs out of people to, what? Go eat your food. No. Go eat your food. Go. I know. Not right now. Stop. Not right now. Apollo. Enough. Go. Go. I know, baby. I know. Soon, I promise. It's gonna end soon. Sorry, guys. He gets a little emotional sometimes and comes over to me to get loves. But he's such a good boy. Oh, Pop. You're a good boy, huh? You're a good boy. And so, I'm at the register too, and I'm helping. And we have these new little girls. This new little girl. Her name is Helena. And the first thing I thought of when I heard her name, Helen of Troy. God always has me word associate the names with people. And so that way I don't forget their names. And so this was only her second day. She had worked with me her first day, which was Thursday. And I had asked the boss, the GM, I said, is she going to work today? And he goes, no, she's not working today. She could only work 1 day a week. I'm like, oh, okay. He forgot. He told her to come in, because I could have sworn he told her to come in. And so when she showed up, I was grateful, because that meant that we would have another pair of hands. And so I went and I asked Cody, the manager for the night, how he wanted her to work. I said, I've already taught her how to put the phones on hold. I said, she'll be able to do that. She'll be folding boxes, but what would you like her to do? Because I want to make sure that she's completely trained by the time we get busy. And he looks at me and he goes, okay, I want her to run the food. And I want her to run the window. Okay, fine, perfect. So I taught her a basic going through the motions of taking the food out and all this. And I said, I want you to get comfortable taking the food out. If you have questions, take your time. If you can't find something, let us know. I said, when we're slow, we'll be able to help you. When we start getting busy, there's not going to be time for us to tell you how to do it. So this is your moment. This is your opportunity to learn how to do this part very well, so that when you get busy, you won't feel like you don't know what you're doing, because you have asked questions. You've been put through the process enough. Go eat. You have food over there. I know. Yeah, well, you scratched yourself, and now you've got... Stop doing that. Stop doing that, Papa. Yeah. I know you want to go outside. You have to give me a minute, okay? Let me finish this video and then I'll take you outside. Yeah? Will you wait? Will you wait for me? Yeah? No? Go drink water. So, mm, 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 mm. Um, Go lay down. Behave yourself. Go lay down. Mm. Don't look at me with that attitude. You heard me. Go lay down. Mm. Mm. So, no one has ever witnessed me do that before. And so, when he was born, his mom taught me how to talk. Hmm. 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 You can shake that tail all you want. Hmm. 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 And so she. Hmm. 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 Mm, mm, mm. She taught me to use a grunt to talk with him. I noticed it between the two of them. Like she would grunt at him and he would grunt back at her. And so she taught me how to do that with him and her. So the three of us would communicate like that to each other. And now he comes up to me and he'll nuzzle me. And then he'll, and I know what he's asking me for. He's asking me for attention. He actually wanted to go to the bathroom outside. But I have a pee-pee pad for him because I knew I was going to be on here for a while. And he doesn't like using the pee-pee pads. He likes going outside. But the neighbor likes letting her dog out without a leash. And I'm just worried that this dog is going to come and try and, you know, fight him. And I just, in his condition, I'm not willing to put him in danger. Because if the dog scratches him or bites him, it could cause an infection. And in his already current delicate state, I can tell you, I've started to see the hair grow back. And it's coming back so fast that there's no explanation, because he really was bald, and his hair has grown back, and each time it's grown back, he goes through these phases, and I still have faith that the angel that came to me in my dream and told me that because of my faith, he has been healed, that I don't need to worry, that God is going to heal him. And I know some of you will say, oh, but God, you know, that's why God has doctors, and, you know, he has these people that know how to fix things within the body. Yes, he does. He does have these individuals who know how to do things that will prevent us from being sick or will help us. But the ultimate glory, the ultimate elevation is from God. And he has asked me to give him the opportunity to show everyone through my life what it looks like when you have faith, what it looks like when you trust God to do the impossible, to do the things that everyone thinks are improbable, that there is no way that anyone could even think It's called radical faith. It's called the type of faith that requires someone to give everything, to surrender everything. And I have. I've surrendered my children. I've surrendered my life. I've surrendered my dog's life. I said, God, do your will in my life, and I meant it. If he wanted me living on the streets, that's where I'd be right now. If he wanted me to look the worst, he would. But he needed me to have faith enough. He needed me to have belief enough that he could do the things that he's done around me, and I not lose my faith. I not lose my path. I not lose my will to continue following him. And he hasn't lost me, and he's not going to, because he can't lose what he created. And that's how I feel. He created me to be this way. He created me to show a faith that has never been seen before. A faith that is so blind in God that I don't care if you came from nothing and God put you on a pedestal and he's now having you preach and you can heal the masses. I don't care, because you're not God. I don't care, because God didn't put me here to have faith in men. He put me here to have faith in him. And that's where my faith is. It's the most radical faith you will ever see. No one has had faith like this. No one. But I have faith. I believe my Father, because he brought me from a place of destruction, of endings, and he's brought me to a place of beginnings. And so on this Friday, I had under $200. I had $194 left. And he wanted me to go get my pedicure. Oh, and get my eyebrows done. That's what the other part of the money went, is I got my eyebrows done because he wanted that done. And then she couldn't do my eyebrows that day, so I had to come back, and God said, do it on Saturday. And I'm like, but that means that I'm going to have to get up early to get on the bus to go and do this. And I said, okay. I said, okay. All right, so this young lady learned this position, this portion of the work, in such a way that, yes, she was slow, but it was okay, because she kept going out, and she kept going out, and she kept going out. And I watched her. She would take two, she would take three, she would take two at a time, two here, two there, two pizzas. The manager would have to help a little bit, but she was going out and going out. The other young lady that had been okay, back up again. So Cassie called this young lady. Her name is Leah. And asked her if she would come in at 9 o'clock in the morning so that she could come in at 10. But not so that she could leave at the time that Leah would have left. Because she's the opener, so Leah would have gotten to go home first. She wanted to keep her early morning hours, meaning that, okay, I come in at 10, but I'm going to stay until I'm the first one to go. You're going to stay through rush, because that's what you were going to have. And I'm like, I looked at her like, wow, that's mean. Because she came in at 9 now. And now you're telling her that she's got to go through rush? And I knew what that meant. That meant she wasn't going to go home till 9 o'clock at night. She would have been on her feet all day long. So guess where she ended up? She ended up answering phones. That's what she did all night long. During the rush, that's all she had to do. I put the phone on hold, she took care of it. I put the phone on hold, she took care of it. I help people on the register, I put the phone on hold. Help people on register, put the phone on hold. That's all she did for 2 hours, answer phone calls. And after she was done with phone calls, then she would run out food to help Helena. And this young girl, Cassie, she left. She left happy because she was going home. And then, but before she left, this is what she told me. If they think that I'm going to work all week with only one day off, they're wrong. I'm not coming in. And if he has only me working and him work, this is about the general manager. If it's only me working on Friday again, I'm not coming in. I don't care. I don't get paid the kind of money they do to work the way they do. I am not here to do their bidding, whatever they want. And I was just like, yeah, I can tell you, I only have one day off next week. But I hadn't told her that I was off. I said, but I'm off tomorrow and Saturday and Monday. She was like, what? You get a 3-day weekend? I'm like, yeah, I do. And she's like, and that's when she was upset because she only had one day off next week. And I said, yeah, so do I. I have 3 days off right now because I didn't take any days off during the week. But she didn't look at that. She didn't look like I had already been working 9 days. And now it was my 2 days off. And then I had Monday off because it was a new week. But the manager decided to give me all 3 days off together so that I could handle going through the entire week. Blessings. Those were my blessings. But it wasn't over. So she left. She was gone. She took her cut of the tips and she left. And these people coming in, I took their orders. And in between taking their orders, I was going out and cleaning their tables as they were done finishing up food. I cleaned other tables. So while the girls were delivering the food, I was going out and I was cleaning the tables. Yes, that young man was still at the register, just there, folding boxes, and at the register waiting for customers. Because that's what he does. He doesn't move. He doesn't help clean until he realized that it was only going to be me and him after a certain time. That's when he started cleaning tables. And by then, I was like, okay, because I'm not starting my closing. And that's fine. So he decides that, because I'm asking everybody if they'll be my pre-closer, because I need someone. There's 80 people in our store at the same time. And I'm one of the people that is on the register. And everyone else leaves. They're not asked, hey, can you help with this before you leave? No. Once their shift is finished, they go home. I'm left with everything. I'm left with making boxes. I'm left with cleaning the tables. I'm left with sweeping. I'm left with, wiping everything down and getting everything ready for the next day. And I have to make sure that there's enough boxes for the entire store to be open the next day. And I've got to do all of this by 11 o'clock at night. Because if I'm not done by 11 o'clock, that means that every hour I am late is less time going to sleep, and I have something to do for God the next day. And nothing is going to stop me from doing what God has asked me to do. So, and I'm still short cash. I don't have enough. Because at this point, I only have $194, which I'm already thinking $90 of that is going to go just in Ubering. I'm going to lose $90. And I said, and I'm talking to God the entire time. I'm talking to Father. I'm saying, okay, Father, you want me to Uber, and you want me to buy things while I'm there. And I know it's going to be food because I didn't eat breakfast and I didn't have coffee. Well, I did have coffee. And hey, you did? This is my thought process. It's not what actually happened. So I was like, I'm not going to have food. I'm not going to have coffee. I'm going to get my nails done. I'm going to get in the Uber and I'm going to drive there. And I said, and that's going to be a long time without food. And then come all the way back. But God already knew what he was going to give me. And so I had already told them I wasn't going to buy wine because he wanted me to stop at the store and buy wine. I said, no, I'm not going to buy wine. I'm not going to drink tonight because I'm worried that I'm not going to wake up in time. He always wakes me up in time. And he says, okay, that's fine. You're going to need it. I'm like, no, it's okay. I'm fine. I'm okay. So I'm serving these people, helping these people. And I went to this lady and I said, I just have to compliment you guys on your kids. And she goes, what? I'm like, yeah, you have such well-behaved children. I have to tell you, this is the best group of children I have ever seen in this store. And she's like, really? They're usually not this well. They're not that. You're talking about our kids? And I'm like, yeah, I'm talking about your kids. I mean, these kids right here. I mean, look at them right now. They're just sitting there quietly talking amongst each other. They're not yelling. They're not screaming. They're not trying to jump over the games. And she looked at me in horror and she's like, people do that? I'm like, oh yeah, no, yeah, no. There is, no. I said, this is a good group, and it's just, you guys are amazing, and I want to just thank you for being here. And because they're like, oh, sorry, we didn't mean to. And I'm like, no, you guys don't understand. Like, we have been asking for this. We have been hoping that this is coming. Me and the other manager, we were like, oh, I can't wait till we have standing room only. And I said, for us, this is amazing. Serving you guys, this is everything we could have asked for. And I just appreciate you being here. And they were just like, oh. And I served them with a smile, and I took care of them with a smile. So much so that this young lady came over to me and she goes, here, this is for you. It's a $20 bill. And I was just like, thank you. And then this other young man comes over and he hands me a wad of ones. And he goes, this is for you. And I was like, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. So before, I almost forgot this part. Earlier in the week, I had a couple ask me for my name because they wanted to write a review. They wanted to put out on Yelp something about the store, but they wanted to include my name and how good I was to them and how wonderful I did in serving them. And they wanted people to know that kind of people that work at this store. And I was like, oh, okay, great. I never take that to heart that people are going to write Yelp reviews. They say that, but do they? I don't know. And I had no idea. Apparently, the owner has a company that goes out looking for reviews. And so I came into the store and I'm starting my shift and I'm cleaning and Helena's hasn't shown up yet, and it's Cassie and it's Leah, and we're talking and I'm getting things ready for the night. I'm changing out the waters because we have sanitation buckets that we have to clean out every 4 hours, and when I come in, that's the start of the next 4 hours. So I came in, dumped out the water, got new water in, took the tray. I always clear out the bus cart, take all the trays back to the back, so that it's always a clean cart that I begin with. And then throughout the night, I'm taking those dishes back so that they can be washed and we can have dishes ready for the next rush. And so I wasn't paying attention. Apparently, the email came in that moment. And he read the email and he was like, he called Cody in because Cody was the manager that was coming in at the time. And he goes, dude, look. And I could hear them talking, but I wasn't paying attention to them. I'm like, and so he tried to print the entirety of the message so that I could read all of it. And he goes, great job, Diana. Or no, he says, hey, D, because that's what he calls me. There's only certain people that are allowed to call me D. Moses, you're one of those people. Not everybody calls me D. Most people call me Diana. It's like they can't they're not comfortable calling me D, because D is the number 4, chosen. That's basically what what they're telling me. Hey, chosen, chosen, chosen. And I didn't get it until Tara math. And God goes, isn't that what I call you, D? And I'm like, you're not calling me D. He goes, no, I'm not. You're calling me chosen. He goes, yes, I am. And I'm like, what? So there's only certain people allowed to call me D. Only certain people allowed to call me D. And so the GM, he's allowed to call me D. And I wasn't even talking to him when I said it. I was talking to the other girls. They're like, so what do you want us to call you? I'm like, you can call me Diana or you can call me D, whatever's easier. And he heard it. All the way in the back, he heard it. And he has been calling me D ever since. And so he goes, hey D, come here, come look at this. And I went over and I'm like, what? And he slams it on the thing and he goes, I tried to print all of it so you could read the entire message, but that's the best that I could do. And he goes, and by the way, great job. What? Great job. So I'm reading it. And it says, wow, this is our first time coming to this store, and we had no idea what we were ordering, and Diana was patient, and she was kind and helpful, and she walked us through making our choices and helping us. Even the beer, she even helped us with the beer. She told us about how Angelo's Ale the proceeds are donated to a charity, and that Angelo was the grandfather, and she just was so knowledgeable about the store and the history of the family. It was so refreshing to know that it was a family-owned business and that it was being cared for in the way that the grandfather would have been proud. And the food was wonderful, the beer was great, and so was Diana. And Diana was too, or I don't remember the last part, but because it said my name, and it was in green. And I was like, why's my name in green? And so, if you don't remember, I had mentioned in one of my previous videos that these girls had a customer email the owner directly and give him oh my gosh, these girls are great, they're wonderful, blah, blah, blah. And God told